Okay, I'm just going to say this right away. This may have been the worst pick of the entire draft. I don't know what they were doing. Okay, so if you go over and look at KADARIUS Toney, I understand he profiles to be a wide receiver that probably helps his NFL team a little bit more than he helps your fantasy team. In that, yeah, he has speed, yeah, he's versatile, yeah, he can make plays on special teams, but it doesn't matter what you look at for a wide receiver. Every single metric that you want to have checked, every single box that you think is important for a wide receiver prospect to be a hit at the NFL level, KADARIUS Toney is horrible. And I mean, absolutely absurd that they took him here at 20. I thought that there was a chance that he was going to go near the end of the first round, not in the middle. I mean, I know we're nitpicking here, and I know they traded back, but still, I mean, clearly you can see that this team had plans to go out there and possibly take Devonta Smith, possibly take Jalen Waddle. That's why the Philadelphia Eagles traded up from 12 to 10 for the Dallas Cowboys. And it's because they didn't want to have the New York Giants take Devonta Smith. But this team should have made a better plan. Their plan shouldn't have been, hey, let's trade back. Let's get our next best wide receiver, because that next best wide receiver is a bum. KADARIUS Toney, if we go through, the worst thing that you can ever see from a first round drafted NFL wide receiver prospect is the fact that they weren't productive until their senior season. You see this all the time with guys that get overdrafted in the NFL draft. The best example that we can bring up of this is going to be back in the draft class with Devontae Parker, with, more importantly, Kevin White. When some people thought Kevin White was a better prospect than Amari Cooper, Kevin White was a player that really was a speedster, was someone that had production, but it wasn't until his final season. That's exactly what you are seeing now when you are having the New York Giants taking KADARIUS Toney. This does not impact the value of Kenny Golladay at all, in my opinion, because Toney, if he is a hit, even if he is the best thing you could imagine, is still not going to be a wide receiver seeing a significant amount of targets. The very best case scenario for KADARIUS Toney is he's someone that isn't a target hog, but hey, at the very least, he is being efficient with the targets that he does get. I mean, I don't understand this. I guess you could say they need a field stretcher, but they should have made a play for Jalen Waddle. I mean, Jalen Waddle would have been the perfect fit on this roster. I would have rather seen them actually trade back a little bit more and take an Elijah Moore, because if you go with Elijah Moore, then you have that speed. You can stretch the field that way, or you can play Elijah Moore in the slot. You can make sure that Darius Slayton is operating as the field stretcher and Kenny Golladay is playing as the prototypical Alpha X. So this doesn't help Daniel Jones. I'm going to say that. This doesn't hurt Kenny Golladay, because KADARIUS Toney is not someone you need to be worrying about. KADARIUS Toney is not someone worthy of this 20th overall selection. And y'all know I am very hesitant to say this. I am very hesitant to act like we know anything more than an NFL team. And maybe they took Toney because of what he can bring for their special teams, and I'm not paying enough attention to that. I'm not giving enough value to that. I'm just more so focusing on what this does for their offense, what this does in a fantasy football sense. And I just think that it doesn't do much, because KADARIUS Toney is not a good wide receiver. At his very best, his senior season, when he finally was able to do anything at all, it still wasn't that great. He still wasn't that productive. So please, guys, when you're looking at KADARIUS Toney, don't be thinking that you need to be drastically moving him up Dynasty rankings right now. I know that pretty much everybody on the Dynasty community is off of him, because people have kind of gotten smart about what translates to make a good wide receiver prospect and see production in their rookie season. And like I said earlier, it's breakout age. It's the fact that you were able to be very productive your best season in college, as well as getting the NFL draft capital. And KADARIUS Toney got one of those things, but he does not have the other two, and the other two are way more important in my opinion. So yeah, Toney, going to be avoiding him, but at some point we're going to have to draft him. That's the question. At what point do you decide to draft KADARIUS Toney in your Dynasty rookie draft? And I would say that initial thoughts right here, keep in mind he got drafted about 5 minutes ago. I would say that he is going to be a late second round pick in Dynasty Superflex leagues. He is going to be a mid second round pick in one quarterback formats. If he falls past that, then fine, you can go out there and draft him. But unless you see that drastic fall, I think that we are just going to be staying away. Okay. So Iris saying Giants going to be the best. Art Reeves, I don't know how to say your name, man. I'm sorry. He says, I like Tony, but this pick sucks. Man, let me know why you like Tony. I know he's versatile, but I just don't think he can do anything for fantasy football, to be completely honest. I don't see it. I'm going to dive into it more when my draft guide does come out, but I just don't see this. Hero is saying, not sure what they're seeing here. Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. In saying, hoping the Lions can get Elijah Moore. Yeah, I think the Lions are doing this draft perfectly. I mean, it's great to go and get those extra picks for Matthew Stafford, and now to get the best offensive lineman in the first. If you can get Elijah Moore at the beginning of the second, that would be fantastic. Noah says Patriots lost this draft when they drafted Mac Jones. No, I think the Mac Jones pick is at least better than what we are seeing here with KADARIUS Toney. This is, I think, the worst pick that we have seen so far. JN says Devin Duvernay was better. Honestly, I got to agree with you there, man. I know I may just be being a UT homer, but Devin Duvernay has the same athleticism, if not being a better athlete than KADARIUS Toney. And if you're going to be talking about a guy breaking out in his senior season, at least go for a guy that has that elite production profile. KADARIUS Toney, yeah, I know that he's fast, but I don't get it. Iris saying Giants got Kenny Golladay, John Ross, Saquon Barkley, Kyle Rudolph, and now KADARIUS Toney. Man, I don't know what you're looking at here. I think that, yeah, Golladay is exciting. Yeah, Saquon Barkley is exciting. John Ross and KADARIUS Toney, they're trying to compete for the same spot on this roster. Obviously, the first-round pick invested into KADARIUS Toney shows that they're going to be relying on him to be the field stretcher in this offense. So, yeah, no, John Ross is literally nothing here. Hero Killer says, can't wait to hear Adam from CBS's take. He's a Giants homer. Not trying to sound like an ass, but I have no idea who Adam is. Let's go through. And Josiah says, should have stayed at pick 11 and got Micah Parsons. Honestly, I don't mind the trade back from pick 11. I think trading back to pick 20 and picking up a future first is a great move, but you can't go and then spend that 20th overall selection on KADARIUS Toney. At least go get a Terrace Marshall. At least go get Elijah Moore. Go get someone that is exciting. Okay, CMC says Jets are having a great draft. Point God says 2020, we got really bad landing spots. 2021, hold my beer. Yeah, no, these landing spots have been disgusting. I will give you that. Edward says Toney is definitely not the worst pick here. His route running is amazing. His versatility is amazing. And he is our future slot wide receiver. Man, if you wanted a future slot wide receiver, I promise you Elijah Moore would have been a much better option. Elijah Moore with 150 receiving yards a game in the SEC, completely dominant, and also is a faster wide receiver than KADARIUS Toney. Yeah, Toney offers a little bit more on special teams, but still, I don't get this at all. Brady says he about to blow your mind. I'm hoping. I'm rooting for Toney, my dudes. I'm rooting for it, but it just isn't likely. Just if you look at everything that makes a hit at the wide receiver position, it's breakout age, production in their best season, and he doesn't have either. Literally, we did historical research on what makes the minimum threshold for a wide receiver prospect coming into the NFL hit. And he doesn't hit any minimum threshold to go along with this. He doesn't really have an excuse. He's not playing in the Alabama offense where he's competing for targets with Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, and Henry Ruggs like you had with Devontae Smith. And that's why Devontae Smith had that senior season breakout instead of a junior season breakout. No, KADARIUS Toney has no excuse. You needed to see the production earlier in college. It never came. So I am completely out on him. Now, I hope that helped y'all out. I hope that gave y'all a sense on what I was feeling with KADARIUS Toney. I will be going live again after our next impact pick for fantasy football. Make sure you drop a like, guys. Please, please, please drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a ton. And yeah, I'll be updating our rookie rankings tonight over on Patreon. And I am also going to be hosting Dynasty rookie mock drafts after the